Okay, so today we're going to use a band. We're going to try to get to everything in the body, and we're going to do lots of standing exercises. I'll do that one more time. Sorry, every time I add somebody, I kind of start over. There we go. Okay. So thanks for coming. We're going to use the band today. We're going to use it to address mobility as well as to add some strength challenges. And then most of what we're going to be doing today is going to be standing. So if you start with your feet about hips distance apart, bend your knees so your knees are soft. Take your hands, hold onto the band a little wider than shoulder width apart. You're not trying to stretch it out at this point. You're just using it to mobilize the shoulders a little bit. So you're going to reach your arms up overhead and then press back and around yourself. If you don't have a band, it's no big deal. You don't need the band and around. If you have, a belt, something like that will work as well. So as you're moving your arms around, you're just trying to get your shoulders moving. You could do this without the band and you'd just be doing an arm circle, but it's a little bit more connections happening with the band. So pressing around, up and over, and a couple more times, just opening. It should be comfortable for your shoulders, so you're going in front of yourself and behind. That'll work, Soraya. Yeah. And bend your knees so you're in a soft kind of squat position, just getting our shoulders moving. And then take the arms overhead, circle them around yourself so you can let your ribs move a little bit. You're kind of stirring your rib cage around. The band really isn't changing length too much, but it can if you need it to. And then reverse, big stirring around, getting the ribs moving around. And finding that place where your hands are as far behind you as you can go, and you go into a little extension before you round forward again. And one more time. And then coming back to the center, adjust anything that needs adjusting. And then take the hands in front of you still. You could do this with weights or with nothing, but you're gonna lift your arms up overhead and you're gonna come down into a squat. You're hinging forward and then bend your elbows, pulling the elbows to the side and press back up. So you're going kind of wide with the elbows, trying to get some big muscle groups going right away to warm you up a bit. You absolutely could do this with weights instead. You also could come in front of your face instead of behind. One more time. Reach the arms back up, lift yourself. Bend your knees again. You're gonna pull the band down in front of you like you're doing a bench press almost. Nod your chin, roll through your spine, reach your head and your tail out away from each other towards horizontal. Rotate your upper body towards one side. You're as close to horizontal as you can be by bending your knees and kind of getting down low. Rotate. And rotate one more each way. Rotate the upper body. And rotate the upper body, drop the arms. Roll yourself back up to standing. Same thing. Again, bending the arms, pulling it down in front of you, reaching your arms out towards horizontal. Rotate, center. Try to get down in your squat so you're not up tall. Might not feel like much movement, but it should feel like some things are getting warm. One more each side. And drop the arms in the center, round and roll back up to standing. Take the band behind you. Again, you can do this with weights or with nothing. Round your back and bring your hands forward. Bend your knees. Open your back, let yourself lift up and back as you straighten your legs. Do that a couple times. You're kind of hugging the arms forward. rounding the spine, lifting the spine. And you can play around with how close your hands are to each other to give yourself more or less resistance. The resistance isn't really the point. It's more that the resistance will help you to move your upper back a little bit more. So feel like you lift up and back and you round and lift. A couple more times, just getting things moving, rounding and lift. Try not to drop your chest down low. So you're rounding like hundreds position. So your lower back is going back and then you're standing up nice and tall. Yeah, last time. Rounding and lift yourself up really tall. And then bring the band down. You can do this without a band as well. All of this band is optional. Stand on the band with both feet. Hold a comfortable distance down onto the band. It's not about the moving leg, it's going to be about the standing hip. So I'm going to stand on one leg and try to push the other leg out to the side, step down onto that leg, and then push the other leg out. So as you're doing this, you're not pulling with the arms, you're just keeping the arms down low, and you're trying to not sink or kind of teeter-totter through the torso. So you're trying to feel that grounding down through the standing leg. You stand on it, you reach down, do that standing leg. And depending on how much resistance you have, it might be easy to move the leg in the air, but it really should feel like it's the hip that you're standing on that's working. And reaching the leg out, bring it back in and down, reach the leg out. Trying to minimize the tip from side to side. Good. And one more each way. Finish up even on both sides. And take one foot out. Again, you can do this with weights if you don't have a band. Hold on to the band a little bit lower towards your foot. Step 1 foot out of the band behind. And then you're gonna press your arms or lifting your leg up towards tabletop, and then you push it back down. You're just lifting and lowering. If you wanna take the hands higher, adjust the band length so you can bring your arms overhead. So you're standing on that one leg, lifting, touch back down. You're working that standing hip, feeling like the arms are lifting the leg up. Yeah, so instead of bringing the leg way forward, it's meant to be flexion. Flex the hip like tabletop in front of you and then put it back down versus it being a really elongated position. Yeah, so arms are straight, reach your arms forward and now lift, keeping the arms straight. Set the foot back down. Yes, straight up and set it back down. And then you're gonna lift up, hold, take your leg a little bit to the side, bring it back in front of you and set it down. Don't turn your torso. You're trying to work the standing hip. Lift, little bit to the side, back in front of you, set it back down. If you don't have a band, arm and leg, take the leg to the side, bring it back in front, set it down. Good. And good. Lift. Take the leg a little to the side, bring it back in front of you, set it back down. Twice more like that. Find your balance. Good. And lift. Hold it up there. And bend your standing knee a little bit. Straighten your standing knee. It doesn't need to be very big, maybe an inch or two. Bend your standing leg a little. Straighten, bend, and straighten one more time. Bend and straighten. Set the foot down on the band. Step your other leg back into a lunge. Let go of the band on the side that is the leg that's forward. So my right leg is forward. I'm letting go of the right end of the band. Yep. Come into a lunge. Again, you can do this with weights instead of a band. Push your arm back along your side. Bend and straighten the elbow. long line from the head to the back foot. Yeah, and if I wanted to change it up or didn't have a band, you can totally do this with just weights. Whatever you got, we'll make it work. Working with the band is nice because it is a different kind of resistance than free weights. Hold the arm straight and little pulse of the arm back, back, back. Keep that front leg working. Keep your body as low as you can in that long diagonal. Yeah, that looks good, Gloria. Open across the front of the shoulder. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your arm forward. Turn your palm so the tail of the band is coming out the thumb side. And you're gonna do back knee is gonna bend, like you're going down to the floor. Come back to that long line. Down to the floor, back to the long line. So then you're gonna do a little bicep curl. If you can, lift your arm up high versus it being down here, which will be easier. Figure out how much band length you need to make that happen. Should feel like you're working on your balance as well. Down and up, and down, and up. Nice. Looks awesome, everyone. Four more. One more time. Hold down, little pulses down from that front glute. Do whatever you want with your arm or pulse the arm. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step back forward, shake it out. Well, we're not done with that side yet. Step that same leg back into your lunge. Take your hand back over so the tail is coming out the pinky side and grab pretty low towards your foot. The other arm can help you to balance at first, but then you might choose to get rid of it. So do like a low row where you're pulling your elbow back, reaching forward, back, reaching forward. If you can, turn and look over that shoulder. That's where the balance gets much more difficult. That looks good. See if you can keep your hips facing forward, Soraya. Yeah, so your hips don't turn with the upper body, just the upper body turns. If you're on a Pilates mat and it's thick, it's gonna be harder to balance. See if you can rotate, Natalia. You have the wrong arm. There you go. So it's the open side. Yeah, so my left arm is rowing, exactly. And then see if you can keep the hips forward, everybody. Keep the hips forward, row and rotate your upper body. Don't move your pelvis. That's better. 4, 3, and last one. Bring yourself back forward, shake it out. Put the band underneath the second foot. So I had the foot further from the camera that I was starting with, which was my right foot. And now I'm starting with the foot closer to the camera. And I'm trying to lift up, figure out where you need to hold on the band to be able to lift the legs and keep the arms straight. Press yourself up, find your balance. Yeah, exactly. Natalia, with that resistance loop, I have one like that, let me grab it. You might choose to, since it's a loop, put it underneath your foot and hold onto the ends and see if that works better. It might make it shorter so it works better for you. If it's too heavy, then it's just, you'll do what you can. That's right, lift and lower, finding your balance, lift, lower. Try to only lift up as high as you can keep neutral pelvis. One more time, hold your leg up. Take your leg a little to the side, bring it back in front of you, set it down. So lifting it up, little side, back in front of you, down. It should feel like that outer hip of that standing side is what's working to hold you up. The lifted leg shouldn't feel too hard. And lift, center, and set it down. And lift, leg to the side, leg in front, set it down. And lift. 3 more. Finding that press of the floor away from you, so you're pushing down into the floor. Last one. Hold your leg up and in front of you. Bend your standing knee a little bit. Whoops. Straighten your standing knee a little bit. Bend your standing knee a little bit. Straighten. And hold your balance. So you do that a couple more times. Small range of motion. One more time. And then set that foot down. From here, keep that foot under the band. So I have my left foot forward. I'm going to get rid of the left side of the band. Step back into your lunge. Hold on with the tail side of the band coming out of the pinky side of the hand. Press your arm back by your side, and then bend and straighten the elbow. So it's opposite. The arm that we're working is the same as the back leg. Bend and press. Tricep press. Try to feel that front glute and that hinge forward, that lunge forward. Good. And hold the arm straight, little pulses of that straight arm. Push, push. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Turn the band over so the tail is coming out the thumb side. Find that back knee bend and straighten, and then you can add your bicep curl. The higher you lift your elbow, a little more work. Down and up and down and up. Find a lunge. Yeah. If you, instead of kind of contorting your wrist, pay attention to which side of the band the tail is coming out of. So right now it's out of the thumb side. Then you won't have to like fold your wrist back in some weird way. You can totally do this with weights if you need. I'll stop saying that now. I know you know. Bend and press. Hold down and little pulse, pulse, pulse. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step forward, shake it out for 2 seconds. Turn the band so the tail side is coming out the pinky side of the hand. Step back into your lunge, walk your hand pretty far forward on the band, and find that low row. Bend and reach forward. Pull back, reach forward. You can use your hand on your knee, and then as you gain comfort, balance, then start to take weight out of that hand. And then rotate. Yeah, that looks good. Rotate to look back and reach forward. Rotate. So it's the opposite hand as the front foot, and I'm rotating towards the open side, but I'm not turning my pelvis. Keeping the pelvis forward, you're turning, thinking of looking over your shoulder. Yeah, that looks awesome. Go towards that open side, rotating. Four more. And last one. And step back forward, shake it out. Cool. So then either with or without the band, either with weights or without the weights, Put both feet about as wide as the outer hips, stand on the band, and do a bicep curl as you go down into a squat. So down and up. Yeah, this easily works with weights if that's better for what the props you have. Or in my past classes, we've done this with no props. So you don't need anything. Down and up and down and up, and totally do it without weights if you don't have them. No stress. Works both ways. Some of you have been coming quite a bit, so I want to make sure you have new options, but you don't have to add any of these props. And then you're going to stay down in your squat, lift one heel, put that heel back down, lift the other heel, put it down, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift. Obviously, the closer your hands are to your shoulder, the more resistance you have, and you can kind of figure out how you need to work so the band stays put. And then press yourself back up, go down and up a few more times, down, press up, down and up. Nice. And then stay down, lift one heel and then the other, nice and reciprocal. So they're both kind of moving at the same time. Switch, 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 switch. And press yourself back up. Let go of the band. Go down into your squat. Hold whatever is helpful with your arms. Lift both heels, lower both heels. So the whole shape is getting pushed away from the floor. You lower the heels. You push the floor away. You lower the heels. Keeping your torso on that long angle. Last one. And come back up to standing. Okay, so we'll do this two different ways. You can do it without the band, or we can use the band. So I'll show you with the band first. So if you put one foot in the band, let's use the one closer to the camera, and then step the other foot through the band. You're gonna hinge on your standing leg like a deadlift, and then stand back up. So you're trying to lengthen the standing hamstring, back of the upper leg, and then use that back of the leg to come back up. If you don't have a band, some ways it's harder. So you could put your foot on the floor and kind of just prop it there while you do this kind of deadlift motion. You could reach the leg out. If you aren't using a band, I saw somebody with a can of soup there. So if you put the can on the floor in front of you, it might have to be on a yoga block or something, but you grab it and pick it up, and then you put it back down with the next rep, and you alternate between those two options. Good. So those of you with the band, the feeling is like you're trying to really reach into that back leg and find the stability through that length of the leg away from the crown of the head, creating a long line. Nice. And reaching that back leg forward, teetering. Harder on the mat. If you're struggling with the balance, then get rid of the mat. And arms are long by the side, so try not to tense up the arms too much. You can walk your hands down lower if you need. Hinging and pull yourself back up. Yeah, exactly. That's right. One more time. One more good one. And then step back through the band. So now the band is on the front foot, and you're going to teeter with the band. The free leg is lifting. And then you come back up. Same thing if you're using the weight. You set the weight down. Oops, I'm not doing very well today with balance, but you guys will be better than me. If you need to put it up on something, you can. Putting the weight down once and picking it up. Yoga blocks work pretty well with this for propping up that weight. It's just nice to have a goal, something to reach for. Trying to feel that lengthening through the back of your hamstring. Get long, 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 long. Good. Last one. And then switch so the other foot is in the band. Step your free leg through the band. Stand on the free leg. If you're not using a band, then you'll just switch back to the first side, do the same thing one more time on each side. Tipping forward. If the mat is proving to not work for your balance today, get rid of the mat. Definitely harder. If you want it to be even harder, you could roll up your mat and give yourself even a more unstable surface to stand on during all of this. Good. Pressing long through the spine. Keep that back leg reaching. And twice more. Good. And last one. And then step through the band, stand on the band leg. If you're not using a band, you just switch last side, teeter forward. If you need to walk your hands down on the band, you can. You want to feel like the band is shortening as you go forward and lengthening as you stand back up. So you're using that standing leg to pull the band back into its length. Let the band move. Some of you are just holding it totally still. The arms are long by the sides. Straighten your arm. Yeah, let the band get shorter and longer. If your arms aren't down far enough on the band, it won't work, and you'll just end up holding a bicep curl. We want that hamstring, the back of the standing leg, to be shortening and lengthening against the resistance of the band. Forward and back. And two more. And one last time. Nice active stretch for the hamstring. And then get rid of the band. You can bring your hands behind your head. Round your back, bring your head and knees towards each other, rounding your head forward, scooping the abs out and back, and then stand back up tall. And then start to do that a little faster, like you're getting the sternum to round back, almost like you're getting punched in the stomach. And then if you can, when you stand up, lift one leg in front of you. It doesn't have to be pretty. It's kind of like a march. Lift, round, lift, round, lift. If you can go faster, go faster. Yeah, exactly. Woo. Finding your balance and continuing to explore it. One more on each side. And then setting the foot down, side bend towards one side, and then come back up to the center. Side bend towards the other side, come back up, rotate over one leg, round over that one thigh, come back up, set yourself over the other thigh, round, and come back up, and then add a bend of the knees to this. So side bend, push yourself back up. Side bend, push yourself back up. Chest over one thigh, offset your hips a little. Come up and over the other thigh, offset the hips a little, and repeat. And side bend, push the floor away, lift up tall, and side bend, and lift, and over one thigh, and over the other thigh, and come back up. So then if you can, keep your hands back behind your head. You're gonna step out to one side into a lunge. So your leg can be a little bit turned out. You're not trying to turn it out like a warrior or something in yoga. It's just gonna need to be a little turned out. And then you're gonna step back in and do that a couple times. Step out, your torso stays vertical, and you're gonna go just one direction. Now we're gonna add rotation towards the straight leg and come back up. Rotate towards the straight leg, come back up. When you come back in, either touch your foot to the floor or you can lift it up. And rotate, lift, and rotate, and lift, and rotate, lift. Good. And then start to pick up the pace a little so it's all one continuous motion. If it's not working for your hands to be behind the head, then bring them to your forehead. That works too. Yeah, last one. And set that foot down, step out with the other leg, and step back in. And step out and back in. Rotate towards the straight leg, center. Towards the straight leg, and center. If you want to step that foot in, you can, or you can lift it up. As you rotate, try not to flex forward so you stay as vertical as you can. Rotate towards the straight leg, pick it up. Rotate towards the straight leg, pick it up. Nice. A couple more, see if you can continuously move, connect one right into the next. Last one. And come back to the center. Take your legs, bend your knees a little, let your arms swing a little side to side. Just get the arms moving. Let your upper body rotate, twist, and look in the direction your arms are going to. Really playful feeling, letting the arms just swing. And then take the arms and hug across the chest and open them out to the side. And then you're gonna find a little bounce to that. Bounce, opening the chest. You can play around with the arms opening more to diagonals or horizontal. Yeah, just don't hit the wall. Swing, swing, swing. And then you can relax. Cool. So then you're going to step one foot forward again. Let's do the foot forward is the one that's closer to the camera. Step the other leg back into your lunge. Reach your arms forward. And then you're going to go into this little protraction, retraction we've been working on, where you rotate your upper body, push-pull feeling, rotating, rotating, rotating. And same arm as the front leg is going to bend, reach across the horizontal, sweep around. And now keep it moving. Reach the fingertips away from each other. Two more. And then bring the arms forward, circle them around and round your shoulders forward. The arms come forward, round your shoulders back as the arms go back. One more time, round and circle the arms around. You can either reach the arms forward or overhead, or they can be on your hips, is a little easier. Push that back heel down. So if you need to scoot your back foot in a little, you can. Bend the back knee a little. It's not going to go very far. And then straighten. Bend and straighten. And then a couple little pulses, little bounce feeling, and then straighten it again. Bend as much as you can, keeping the heel down. Bend, and then 5 little pulses. Pulse, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time. Bend the knee, straighten the knee. Bend the knee, straighten the knee. 5 pulses, 3, 4, and 5. Push the back heel off of the floor and then lower the back heel down. Push the back heel off the floor, lower it down. Then I'd like you to bend the back knee as you roll your foot open, kind of fanning the foot back to the floor. Rolling and fanning. Rolling and fanning. Get as low as you can. 2 more. And then stepping that foot forward. Step the other leg back, arms reach forward. Little protraction, retraction, rotating. Back heel is off, legs are parallel. Toes are all pointing forward. That's right. Good. Can you bend your front knee more? Get a little lower. And then bend the arm, same arm as the front leg. Sweep across. Reach, sweep. Reach fingertips away from each other, sweep. Two more. Last one. And then roll the shoulders forward, big circle of the arms, roll the shoulders back. Roll the shoulders forward, roll the shoulders back. One more time. And sneak that back foot in a little bit so you can get your heel all the way down. And then bend your back knee a little bit, straighten it. Really, you can bend it as far as you can keep your heel down, but most of us, it's not going to be very far. A little bend and straighten and bend, straighten. One more time. Then do those 5 little pulses. Pulse, 2, 3, 4, 5. Straighten the leg, bend the leg twice. Straighten and 2 and 5 pulses, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, bend and straighten and bend and straighten. Little pulse, 2, 3, 4, 5. Straighten the leg. Push the heel away from the floor. Stretch the heel and the knee back away from each other. Push and stretch. Then bend the back leg as you fan the foot open. Now roll the foot back down to the floor. Opening, press long. Open, press long. Two more. And last one. And step your foot back forward. Good. And then from here, I want to do a little bit of like a skating motion. Hazel has stolen my mat. Here we go. Okay, go over there. So bend your knees and reach one foot forward. Find your balance so that foot can just barely be on the floor. You have your little balance going. Take your leg to the side. Take your leg back. You're trying to keep your torso as vertical as you can. Does it have to adjust a little? Yes, but you're trying to minimize that. Try not to be kind of sitting in your hip, but really use your glute to hold you up. So your standing leg is bent to the side, to the front. And then you can start to continuously sweep the foot along the side. Try to get your hip, Natalia, to not be slightly out to the side. Yeah, like connect into the glute. So it should feel like a lot of glute on that standing leg is working to hold you up, and outer hip. Yeah. And if you can go a little faster, go a little faster, trying to keep the torso where it is. And then set that foot down and bend the other leg, reach the other foot forward, find that connection to the outer hip, front, side, back, side, trying to keep the torso as vertical as you can, and then connecting them at a speed you can manage. Sweeping the leg around, trying to keep that standing leg from wobbling around on you. Good. Yeah, nice. And if you can go a little faster, pick up the pace a little bit. One more. And then step back. We're going to add to that. So starting on the first side again, bend the standing leg, reach your leg forward, take your arms in the opposite direction as your leg. And then as your leg goes around, take your arms the other way. Take your arms one way and then the other, and start to go a little faster. If you do the opposite arms, that's fine with me. They're just going side to side. Try to go as fast as you can, like you're speed skating. Obviously, your arms can go faster than your leg. And last one. And switch to the other side. Take your leg forward, take the arms one way, and then as the leg goes back, they go the other way. I think it's easier, instead of them going across the horizontal, for them to swing down, because it feels more like if you were speed skating. Not that I speed skated recently, but my memory of my speed skating as a kid. 4. Last one. And then relax. Take one foot and cross it in front of the other and put your toe on the ground. Your leg is bent. Take one arm, side bend, so you're kind of making a cashew shape, and then keep that same leg, but stretch the other direction. Some people like it one way, some people like it the other direction. I prefer this direction because you can move a little bigger. And one more time, big side bend, and then step down on that foot. Switch which leg is in front. Kind of cashew shape one way and the other. Opening up through your back. And then setting both feet down, nod your chin, roll down towards the floor. Once you get down towards the floor, let your head hang for a second, shake your head up. You can turn your head. Stay there, shake, 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 shake. If you don't have anything to put your knees on, then grab your mat. Otherwise, you're gonna walk your hands out into a plank position. Once you're in your plank, you can stay and hold, or you can set your knees down, your choice. Find your plank and hold, hold, hold. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. Drop your heels down as much as you can and roll back up to standing. And again, nod the chin, roll down towards the floor. Walk your hands out about halfway to your plank, so it's something more like a downward dog position. So your hips are way up high, like a V. And then I want you to release one hand, thread it underneath and lift towards your hips. And then set your hand down, thread it underneath like you're trying to move your hips further back. And you're trying to reach underneath and follow the arm with your head. As much as you can, you're minimizing the side-to-side shift, but there's going to be some. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. Drop the back of the pelvis. Roll yourself back up to standing. We're going to add to that. You can stick with what we just did if you want. Roll down through your spine. Walk your hands forward all the way to your plank this time. You're going to shift your hips back as you lift one hand under and go into that down dog feeling. Plank, down dog, thread under, and plank, down dog, thread under, plank. One more each side. Set your hands down, set your knees down, sit back towards your heels into a shell stretch. Stretch your arms open. Take a couple breaths there. And we're gonna do side kick facing the side on our hand and knee. Of course, you could lay on your side if you needed to. Hand under the shoulder, knee under the hip. Lift your top leg, flex your top foot. 2 kicks forward, forward, sweep the leg back. Forward and back. Try to turn your body to the side as much as you can. And forward, back, and forward. One more time. Try to keep the height of the leg. Bring your leg right underneath you and circle for 6, 5, keep it high, 4, 3, 2, 1, reverse, 6, awesome, Gloria. Good. And then set that foot down on the floor, reach your top arm up to the ceiling, thread your arm under and stretch your back open by rounding and looking underneath, and then open back up to the ceiling. Should feel pretty nice. And round under and open up, just twice more like that. Thread the needle, round under and open and thread, round under and open. Set your hand back down, sit back towards your heels, shift your weight back onto your feet, walk your hands towards your feet, drop your head, stretch the legs as straight as you can, connect to your abdominals as you roll up to standing. We have to repeat that again. Now the chin, roll through the spine, walk the hands out into your plank. You should be in your plank by about 4 steps. Hip shift back as you thread under, downward dog, plank. Thread under, it's really like elephant on the reformer if you've done that before. Thread under, that looks great, everyone. Hips forward, thread under, one more each way. Thread. And set your knees down, stretch the arms forward. Feel like you're trying to reach your arms as far away from your butt as you can. Take a couple breaths there. And then you're gonna turn however you want. I'm just turning to face away from you to do the second leg. Reach the arm and leg up, 2 kicks forward, reach the leg back and forward and back. As you continue, try to get your torso to face the side as much as possible. Use that top arm to kind of reach up into the ceiling. Try to stretch your fingertips, your hands away from each other. 3 more. And last one. And bring your leg underneath you. 6 circles. 6, 5, as high as you can. 4, 3, 2, 1, reverse. 6, 5, 4. Bring your leg back down to the floor. The arm goes up to the ceiling. Thread underneath the armpit. Stretch your back open. Yeah. And then open back up to the side. This is the nice part. Thread under. Let me watch a second. Yeah, that's right, everyone. Awesome. And thread under. Last one, thread underneath. And open the arm back up. Set your hands down. Sit back towards your heels, so a little shell stretch. And then tuck your toes under, find neutral spine, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Hover your knees up into a low hover, as low as you can. And while you're there, let yourself sink between the shoulder blades and then push the floor away. So you're protracting and retracting in that hover position. If that doesn't work for you, set your knees down and do that shoulder motion. Yeah, exactly. So it's like the whole shape was lowering and lifting a little bit. One more time, stay in neutral. Good. And then hover the knees up, step one foot out, step the other foot out, step one leg in, set the other leg in, set your knees down. That's one rep. You can keep it going continuously if you want. Hover the knees up and out, out, in, out, out, in. If that's not working for you, feel free to come back to just this leg pull front prep and hover the knees up. Awesome. And then again, sit back towards the heels, take a breath, open the arms up. Transfer your weight back onto your feet. Roll yourself up to standing. You can either stay with both feet on the ground, that's going to be easier. Or if you want to push yourself a little bit more, try to reach one foot out behind you and keep it off the ground. If you can, straighten it. So you're going to roll down to the ground, a lot of balance challenge. Walk your hands out into a plank. Try to keep your leg high. Walk your hands back in. Try to keep your leg high. And then try to keep the leg as high as possible while you roll back up to standing. Awesome. Switch legs. Reach one leg out behind you. Roll down. Walk your hands out. Keep the leg up as much as you can. Keep it up as you come back in. And then feel like the back of the leg drops down for you to roll up through that standing side. Good. Come back to facing towards me. Bend your knees and just rock your hips a little side to side just to loosen up the hips a little bit more. Nothing fancy. And then start to circle your hips around just to loosen up the hip joints a little bit more. And reverse it. Circle the hips around. Bend your knees so you get a little more play at the front of the hips. And then take one leg back and swing your arms forward and back, opening up through the chest. Again, trying to get rid of some of this sitting posture we have. And switch which leg is back just so it's even. Sweeping, swinging, pretty playful feeling. Yeah, exactly. And then come back to the center. Turn your palms to face outward. You're gonna take one arm up. As it goes around, the palm will be facing forward. And then you roll the hand forward. Then the other arm goes forward. It faces out, and then you roll the arm in. So either one arm at a time or both arms at the same time, but I want that rolling of the arm in and out, in and out, twice more. Whatever you're doing, you can add a little rounding of your upper back. And then standing tall, kind of letting it all resolve. And you're all done. Awesome work. Good job. Hopefully you felt like something was happening. Okay, good. Well, anytime, let me know if there's something specific you want to work on.